Welcome to Pathcast. I'm Brad Whitaker, returning after a bit of a break and a bit under the weather. But Tom Brady returning to the Patriots. Gotta talk about it, right? Brady teased a potential NFL return, appearing on Deep Cuts with Vic Blends the other day, and even mentioned the Patriots as a potential destination. Just mentioned a couple teams, but the Patriots were one of them. Vic Blends asked Brady, hypothetically, let's say one day there's a situation. Maybe it's the 49ers. Maybe, headed to the playoffs, offense is great. And then Brady interjected, Patriots, could be Raiders, could be, you never know. Big Blends continued, God forbid somebody goes down, would you pick up that phone? Brady responded, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if they're going to let me if I become an owner of an NFL team. I don't know. I'm always going to be in good shape, always going to be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit like MJ coming back, I don't know if they let me, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Now, something tells me the NFL would approve of such a situation, considering Brady would just be a small minority owner of the Raiders, and it's going to be a good situation for the NFL, right? A Tom Brady return, even if it were against the rules, they would figure out a way to change the rules to make something like that happen. But what's really eye-opening here is Vic Blends suggested the San Francisco 49ers, Brady's hometown team growing up. And Brady immediately interjected and said the Patriots. Did mention the Raiders, who, like I said, he's a minority owner of. But considering the Patriots are in rebuilding mode, it's kind of surprising to hear Brady would consider potentially, if he came out of retirement, going back to the Patriots. But that's what he floated out. That's what Brady said. So now we kind of have to entertain this possibility as Patriots fans. And look, maybe there is some appeal there. Brady obviously would not want to play under the hardcore culture of Bill Belichick, but would very much enjoy playing under the new Gerard Mayo regime, who, at least according to early reports since the Patriots started their offseason workouts, he would be part of a more loose, collaborative atmosphere, which seems to be the situation these days in New England. And maybe he could get Gronk or Jules or both to come out of retirement as well. Honestly, I think it's a pipe dream. But look, it's fun to float out there. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to think about. And look, we know Brady still has that itch. Like he said, he stays in shape. His arm strength is always going to be there. You listen to Brett Favre. He still says, he's been out of the league for many years now. He says, I can still swing the football as good as I always have. Drew Bledsoe says the same thing. So the arm strength isn't going to go anywhere. And Brady has never been dependent on his legs or his raw athleticism, which he really doesn't have. But so the footwork would be there. He's going to be able to read defenses. I think a Brady comeback, there wouldn't be as much of a curve to transcend there as, say, a more dynamic quarterback coming out of retirement. I think Brady could step in on day one and help an NFL team as the greatest quarterback of all time and certainly be able to pick up any offense that he would need. Now, how would this work? Again, I think it's a pipe dream, and I would say the Patriots are unlikely, even if Brady did consider coming out of retirement. And the reason is they're likely not contending for a Super Bowl anytime soon. Even if the Patriots are somehow like a borderline playoff team, it will likely be because of the defense and not the offense, which still has a long way to go in terms of rebuilding. It just would not be an attractive spot. Now, the Raiders, likely not a great team either, but they have some offensive weapons the Patriots do not have. Now, Brady is set to be the primary color commentator for Fox Sports this coming NFL season. In fact, he'll be calling the Super Bowl this upcoming season in New Orleans, assuming he were to come out of retirement and go to a team that doesn't end up making the Super Bowl. He could still get some experience under his belt calling the first half or the first 2/3 of the season's games, return to the NFL, and then ultimately return to the broadcast booth in the postseason, in the Super Bowl, when his team is out of contention. Now, if I'm the Patriots, it's at least worth a phone call, right? It's at least worth getting Robert Kraft or Elliott Wolf or Gerard or all three on a conference call on the phone, gauging Brady's interest in this situation. Because look, they're going to be in a situation where they're drafting a young quarterback, probably Drake May, Jane Daniels, or J.J. McCarthy, a Michigan QB who Brady really likes, a Michigan QB himself. And they may want to sit that young quarterback for a year. it's a much better opportunity for them to be sitting under the greatest quarterback of all time instead of learning from Jacoby Brissett or Bailey Zappi. And I like Jacoby Brissett. You know, he's a good veteran. He's a good locker room guy. He reacted in the comments to Brady's one of his troll posts saying, I need so and so many likes and I will unretire. And Jacoby Brissett was not having any of it. But you have the chance to learn from a guy like Tom Brady, whether it's May, Daniels, McCarthy, or they get one of the other quarterbacks later in the draft. They have a real opportunity to learn a lot from a quarterback like that. And that would really be an ideal situation for any quarterback coming in. But from the Patriots' perspective, I think this is only really possible if you're able to get Brady for an entire season, which makes the Fox situation likely untenable. Like, perhaps they could let Brady call a game during the Patriots bye week, and then they would let Brady call the postseason games and ultimately the Super Bowl. But would Fox be willing to let Brady do that? I don't see that happening. They will probably throw Greg Olsen out there instead. Brady would have to delay his Fox commentary for at least another season. But look, again, I think it's a pipe dream, but it's fun to think about. But Brady has that itch, right? And maybe you could entice him to come out of retirement to the Patriots. Maybe you say, hey, look, if you're willing to come back, we'll draft Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll give you that number one receiver. We got other pretty good receivers. I know we're missing that number one guy. We get Harrison. You know he'll contribute on day one. And then we'll let a Penix or a Nix or a Radler or one of these other second, third tier quarterbacks develop under you for a year. And then you don't have to worry about him nipping at your heels throughout the entire season. That's a possibility. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Brady is just having some fun here, getting some engagement, trolling, engagement baiting, whatever? Let me know in the comments below. Or do you think he has that itch and would be willing to return to the NFL? I'm curious to hear from you. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. And the draft is very close. We're going to be here covering it as it gets closer and throughout the 3 days during the draft. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.